Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about social groups from a sociological point of view. This is why I chose a chapter from Zygmunt Bauman's book titled Thinking Sociologically. Before we start the article, a little bit about Bauman. He was born in Poland in 1925 into a non-practicing Jewish family. He was forced out of Poland in 1968. That's why he worked and lived in Leeds in England until he died. He passed away last year around this time at the age of 92. Before we start talking about the article, think about a certain group of people you wouldn't like to be neighbors with. Or, to put it another way, if they moved into your vicinity, you would say things like, "You are not supposed to be here. This is not where you belong to." In the previous chapter of the same book, Bauman talks about the binary opposition of us versus them and shows that the two categories make sense only in opposition to each other. We wouldn't be able to make sense of our identity if there were not people we called them or others. So there is an in-group and an out-group for us. However, social divisions are not like black and white, and there is a third category which Bauman calls strangers. They are neither part of us nor them, neither friends nor foes. We don't know how to treat them. For this reason, they cause confusion and anxiety. Please be careful here. Stranger does not mean people I am not familiar with. Maybe the opposite is true. In order to be able to categorize them as strangers, I have to know a little bit about them. Now I want you guys to think about examples of these people. They are not one of us, but they are not absolute others either. Think about it. The first example that came to my mind when I read this article was gypsies. They are in Turkey, they speak our language, and they live with us, yet we do not feel like they are one of us. In the later part of the article, Bauman argues that because the borders between social groups are not natural, they must be constructed and vigilantly defend them. Here he describes a well-known picture of four skulls to show that, in essence, we are all the same. But we need social categories to feel safe and secure. Therefore, violation of those borders disturb us. Anything that undermines that intended order needs to be suppressed or exterminated. The stranger, in this regard, violates the order by being in a place where he shouldn't be. Bauman explains this with a gardening metaphor. What makes some plants into weeds, which we mercilessly poison and uproot, is their horrifying tendency to obliterate the boundary between our garden and wilderness. The weeds are often quite nice looking, fragrant and pleasing. We would certainly admire them as adorable specimens of wildlife if we found them while walking through woods or meadow. Their fault is that they have come uninvited to a place which they ought to be neatly cut into lawns, rose gardens, vegetable plot, and flower borders. They spoil the harmony we envisaged. They play havoc with our design.